Good morning, fellow addicts. TFA 1024 here. Haven't been on in a couple days. Last update or upload I did was upload. The last upload I did was for Trees in a Torn Story, which has been continuing production. And as you all know, the last What's Up with the Addict that I did was in regards to my mother. As of March 19th, last Thursday, my mother, Louise Davis, is gone. She's officially moved to heaven. My wonderful, sweet, beautiful, kind-hearted grandma and adopted mother has passed away. She's moved on. And I'm still coping with the loss. If you have not seen the previous What's Up with the Addict, I'll give you a very short history. My mother used to be a very intense smoker when I was growing up as a child. She smoked so much that the last cigarette basically gave her living hell, in a sense. In a literal sense, she was living in hell for the last, I want to say 2 decades almost, or a decade. I don't know. I can't remember her age when that happened. But she was too late to stop. She went to the doctor. She was diagnosed with emphysema and COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which affects your respiratory system, your breathing. And she's been fighting a very long battle for a very, very long time. And despite her ongoing efforts, the fact that this woman has triumphed over mini strokes, the fact that she triumphed over death itself the first time with respiratory failure, back in July a couple years ago, she couldn't win this fight. And it breaks my heart to say that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get emotional. I'm sorry. This is really hard to talk about. I've been able to open up about it on Instagram. YouTube, for some reason, is different to me. I don't know why. Probably because I never talk about this stuff on YouTube, but it's had a very severe impact on me because I was the one to put her in the hospital. She was on hospice care, which is people come into the house instead of a nursing home. They're nurses that come up to the house and report to their doctor, which is her doctor, what's going on with her health-wise and get her the proper adjustments for her medication and such. And the minute they suggested to have her put on morphine, kind of rang a bell in my head saying, yeah, this isn't gonna work. So she fought for 2 weeks. Her respiratory issues were getting a lot more aggressive. And I mean progressively aggressive. She was constantly waking up in the middle of the night or from a nap, or even first thing in the morning, and the first thing she starts doing is moaning and gasping for air. She could not breathe. No matter how much medication we gave her, she could not breathe whatsoever. So when she was in the hospital, after I called, one of my relatives was speaking to the doctor, and they said she is suffering kidney failure down to 20% functionality. It took her a couple days. I had to say my goodbyes to her 4 times in a row. I couldn't see her like that, and I know she wouldn't want me to see her like that. And I couldn't do it. I got to say everything I ever wanted to say to her. I made her feel like she was comfortable to leave without any worry. I told her she saved my life. I am incredibly grateful to her, and I loved her with all my heart. I told her if it wasn't for her, I would not know what it's like to be part of a family like this, because if it wasn't for her, I would have been in a foster home by the state. I would have been put up for adoption. Whereas my mother, Louise, my biological grandmother, adopted me when I was 6 years old. And I shared this on Instagram, I'll share it here too. Trying to get the shadows out. That's her. That's my mother. And that's me. And that's the judge, that's my dad / grandpa, and that's the lawyer who helped make it all happen. I told her I will use every lesson, every moral, and everything she has ever taught me into everyday practice, everyday use, to remember her by. So, she got moved to Gulfside Hospice House here in Pasco County, about 10 minutes up the road from me. And she fought for a couple days. She really did not want to let go. But we all said our goodbyes. We all told her we love her. And it's okay. And Thursday, my aunt, my biological mother, my father, they all came home with these very sad and troubled faces. And I just knew deep in my heart, she passed. And I know people are going to look at me and judge me for not being there with her till the very end, but I know my mother. I knew she would not want me there to see her like that. But one of the things I will remember always is that our last conversation, even if she wasn't with it because of all the medicine she was on, is that she called me the greatest son she could ever have, because I was the only son she could ever have. And that she loved me. No, those were her last words to me. I love you too, Michael. So it's been a week. And it's been a hard week. I keep breaking down and crying and getting angry and blaming myself for the sheer fact that I didn't do enough for her, even though I took care of her for the last 2 years. And I felt like I couldn't do enough. But sometimes it's just people's time, and I can't do anything about that. None of us can. And that's unfortunate. But maybe God had a kid who came up there in heaven and needed a mother. Maybe my mom is a mother to another little heaven child up there, little angel. Maybe his name is Michael. Maybe I'll still be her Michael Angel love. Can you excuse me for just a minute? I honestly need tissues. I'm starting to feel watery. But it just, it had to be the one person I connected with most in this world. The one person in my family who I absolutely loved. To no ends. No matter how many arguments I got in with her, how many times I called her names, how many fights we had. I will always cherish her. And I will always remember her And I will always love her, even when she's not here. Because I'd rather have her be able to be free from her bonds than stuck to a sick body made of a tether of pain and suffering. But I really wish she didn't have to go. And it breaks my heart. Because now I have to get used to my mother being gone. And I'm only 24. I don't know how many people have dealt with family deaths like this at younger ages. This is my first family death, and it just happened to be the one to hurt the most. And it hurts like hell. I keep saying every day, I want my mommy back, like I'm a kid. But I do. I had a friend of mine. I have a friend of mine, let me rephrase. My buddy bought Bruiser, or Optimus 145, on PlayStation Network. He unfortunately lost his mother to cancer. And it was a while ago, it wasn't recent, but he told me that and my heart broke. And I can never understand how he can still fight on like that. Because it hurts. And it hurts bad. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm really glad she's no longer in pain. Because I loved her. I hated seeing her be on that stupid oxygen concentrator all the time. I want to see her like she was when she adopted me. No concentrator, no oxygen cord, no portable oxygen tanks, no nebulizers, no medication. And now she can be like that up there. But it doesn't hurt any less. I loved her so much. I still love her. That woman saved my life. If it wasn't for her, I don't know who I would be. I don't know if I'd be Michael Davis. I don't know if I'd be into Transformers. I don't know if I would be as smart as I am. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I'm just so grateful because she saved and changed my life. I never would have imagined to have my own grandmother adopt me, because I remember her very vividly asking me, do you want to be my son? And I was like, yeah. I didn't know at the time. It's like I thought I was, because I was at home and I didn't know my own mother. My biological mother. It's a very confusing story. Seriously, it's honestly one of the most confusing. But she wanted a boy. From stories she told me, she's always wanted a boy. She had nothing but girls. She had all my aunts. And she told me I was literally a miracle baby. And that I was an answered prayer to her. And there were so many times where I look back on my actions and I feel like I took her for granted. So much. She spoiled the hell out of me with love. She took so much punishment. She defended me so much. She proved me wrong so many times. But the last couple of years I tried to distance myself. Maybe because I felt like maybe my body felt like it knew it was coming. And I look back and it was a mistake. I just didn't know what to talk about with them. I didn't know what to do with her. She was always on the couch watching TV. Every time she was in a mood, which was almost every day, she told me to just go away, get out of here. No, I'm not blaming her for that. But it contributed to me wanting to space myself away from her. But the fact that she's gone, the house has never been so quiet. And it's just me and my dad now. And I never wanted him to go through this. He kept saying he thinks that it'd be him first. And I don't know why now. Maybe God knows something up there that we don't. Maybe he's aware that the coronavirus is a thing and he'd rather not have had my mother be taken by it instead of something else. Maybe he did it to help me and my dad get closer together. Because him and I were always like oil and water. I don't know. The Lord works in mysterious ways. But there is no feeling in the world that is worse than losing my mom. I was beaten. I was bullied. I was mentally abused. I was physically abused. This all goes into beaten, but let me just elaborate. I was emotionally abused. I was raped. 14 years old. I went to mental hospitals. I had a scared straight moment where I had to stay at juvie for 2 weeks for a physical confrontation when I was an early teenager. Was in and out of hospitals ever since I was 6 years old, probably 7, somewhere around there, probably my 10s, I don't remember. Ever since I was in like middle school. So 6 or 7, so yeah, somewhere around there. But nothing. All of that is nothing compared to losing my mom. Because that hurts so much worse than I could possibly imagine. I can't describe it. There's no words. It's hell. It's hell on earth. It tears me up inside because I really thought I could have done more for her, but it just might have been her time. So I really don't know what to do. I feel so lost and confused and scared because she was the one to always comfort me and let me know that things are going to be okay. You'll be fine. Things will get straightened out. My dad still does that too. But it felt more... I don't know how to word it, but it felt better coming from my mom. Because of the connection her and I had, which is understandable. You know, mama's boy. That was our thing. I'm a mama's boy. I won't deny it. I love my mom. I even had a nice little surprise for her come Mother's Day and her birthday, but I can't do it now. And to top all of this off, there's still problems that are happening even after she's gone. I mean, this whole coronavirus thing is good for people who can try to apply for jobs now, and who knows, they might even carry over until after this all blows over. But I need to be here for my dad and make sure he's okay, because I don't want him being home alone in this house with all these memories of my mother and torturing himself. He needs a hobby. He keeps telling me he'll be okay, and I know he's just saying that for my well-being because I need to start my life. But I still don't have a job. I have no income whatsoever. I mean, the only closest income I technically have is from Rebecca, TF Addictress 4891 on Instagram, my girlfriend, my fiance. And if it wasn't for her, I don't know what I would do. My dad is still helping me out a little financially. I'm still managing the finances. And good news, we'll still be able to live here despite not having my mom's SSI anymore. But it's going to be very, very tight. So unfortunately, that means I have to keep my Transformers buying down to a minimum, which I had something come in the other day. Oh, Energon Galvatron. Yeah, I had him come in, and I figured I'd get him myself because with TFCon canceled, whoopee, I had some money left over and I saved it up, and I bought myself a couple things. I got a new charger for my phone, because the cable ones, the plastic ones that I had were starting to go away, so I got these braided cables, which are a lot more durable, which I have to plug in real quick. There we go. And I bought myself some t-shirts. I actually bought some clothes, because I don't know where all my clothes are, because we're going to have to go through this whole house and find stuff to part with that was my mom's, or just start getting rid of stuff and start cleaning the house. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be in this room. She was the one to suggest, why don't you move rooms? And I feel like I should have done this a long time ago. I would have had my collection room. And that's what's segueing into this. Because it's going to be so hard to work on that now that she's gone, because she won't be able to see it in person. I know she will up there, but I wanted to see the smile on her face and, you know, be happy that I listened to an idea of hers. But I can't go in that room right now. Which also means I'm not going to be working on any videos whatsoever for a while. Because this is such a hard transition that I have to learn to accept. But everyone keeps telling me, everyone grieves in their own way. And I don't want to isolate myself, because that's the worst thing I can possibly do right now. But I do want to take a break from making content and kind of just gather myself before I can move forward. Maybe I'll try and make something in between. I really, really don't know. It felt good getting that music video out for the scene of Trees in a Tarn Story, because I was working on that while my mother was in the hospital and in hospice. And it felt good. And she did get to see a little bit of it, but she never got to see the full thing, which was sad. But she saw it there, and she's probably proud of me. But it's gonna take time. Because I genuinely... I can't enjoy much of anything right now until I can pull myself together and be prepared for what happens next. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but I'm not your typical 24-year-old adult. I'm kind of a kid still, mentality-wise. I have the childlike innocence of a 6-year-old, like a 6-year-old. But I'm not beating myself up on that. Nothing wrong with having that as long as you're doing your responsibilities, which I'm doing. But I wasn't ready to say goodbye. Or a see you later, because I know I'm going to see her when I'm up there, but I don't know. Might be too bad for heaven and too good for hell. So I'll probably just be stuck in purgatory for the rest of my life. I really wish she didn't have to go. I want her back so bad. She meant the world to me, and it feels like my world's gone in an instant. And I don't know what to do without her. I even told Rebecca, it's like, hey, my rock's gone, you're gonna have to be my new rock. Because I can't be strong enough in this world alone. I don't want to be. I got scared when my aunt was telling me at the hospital, she was like, Michael, Dad may not want to stay in that house. He might want to move. And I've said this so far, for the whole duration of this time, it took 11 years. 11 fucking years to make this house, this trailer, whatever, this place home. I have not been able to call this place home whatsoever for the duration of the time I've been down here in Florida. My heart was still in Pennsylvania. My heart still is in Pennsylvania. But now, with this whole situation, I am able to fully call this place home. Because my mother, my father, and I made memories that can never be taken away in this place, right here. It took 11 years for that transition, and I was finally able to do it. And I wish I could have told her that. I really do. Because whenever I'm out and about and it's my mom and dad and I'm like, yeah, let's go home. I never said it with heart. I just said it because I don't know what else to call it. Hey, let's go back to the house. I can finally say, let's go home with heart. And it took her dying to do that. But with her passing comes more opportunity. I'll be able to film around the house a little bit more without an oxygen cord. I can, if I ever want to do customs, I can actually spray paint now. We don't have to worry about anyone who has breathing problems. This is all sounding bad, but hear me out. You know, if I want to do custom stuff, I can actually spray paint. If we need to spray bug spray with chemicals in it, we can spray bug spray with chemicals in it. You know, I mean, we can use cleaners with chemicals in it now, too. And it won't affect her. It won't affect anyone, because no one has any problems like that. The only thing I can't stand is the smell of bleach. My nose and my ears are, like, dog sensitive. It's stupid. It's like oversensitivity in my nose and my ears. It's weird. But, you know, my dad and I will be able to go out more without having to worry if mom will, you know, fall, go into the bathroom, or if she'll pass away in her sleep. We can actually just go out on an adventure now. But I really just wish that by some miracle she was able to be healed. And a lot of people say it's selfish to, you know, want to keep someone here when they're in that kind of pain. But when you create a bond as strong as mother and son, daughter and father, mother and, son and father, daughter and mother, brother and sister, brother and brother, sister and sister, family, even friends who you consider family, you don't want to say goodbye to them. You don't want to allow them to leave your life. And that's unfortunately what I was doing at first. But then when my aunt was telling me the best thing you can do is let her go, I knew in my heart I had to. I didn't want to. God, I didn't want to. But it was the best thing for her, because the life that she was living was not a life at all. Imagine yourself waking up in the middle of the night, gasping for air as if you couldn't breathe. Imagine waking up in the morning of the next day, and the very first thing you start seeing is, obviously, you start seeing your surroundings around you. But the next thing you're just going like, you know, that's what she was doing. That's not a life for her. That's no life for anyone. And it's awful. It's disgusting. It's horrific. It's terrible. I hated seeing her like that. I wish I could have given her my lungs. Even if it would shorten my lifespan. It's like, to see her continue to flourish is all I wanted. But I never imagined for this to be as hard as it is right now. And it really is that difficult. But I'm trying. I'm trying very hard. And the last thing I want to do is give up. Because if I were to stop it all here, if I were to take myself out of the equation of life, the Davis family bloodline would die. My mother's legacy would die. Her only son would be gone. And I, as scared as I am, I want to see where I'm going to go in life. As long as I don't see myself in a position of being homeless and having to sell all my Transformers to eat, or, you know, losing my father in the next couple of years. Please, God, save it for a decade. Please. I want to know I'm going to be okay. I understand there are people out there who are saying you'll be okay as long as God is watching over you. But with the way that society has been working recently, with jobs, with benefits for people who cannot afford jobs such as disability or SSI, for the overall fact of living, it's becoming too expensive to live anymore. We're all going to be homeless at some point. Things are going to keep going up. It may go up by a few cents, but those cents add up. And with the coronavirus, I mean, it's starting to solve the population problem. We were always wondering, like, hey, what are we going to do about the overpopulation? This is it. This is a sign that the world needs to wake up. I mean, what are the four horsemen of the apocalypse in the Bible? War, death, pestilence, and famine. What's happening at the grocery stores right now? You can't get that much resource. You can't get food. You can't even get toilet paper. What's currently happening with the world? The coronavirus. Pestilence. What's been going on in Iraq for the last few years? War. What is all of this leading to? Death. I read something interesting a couple days ago that apparently, besides the coronavirus, there's a lot more stuff going on than the government and the media is letting you believe. But there was a sighting of a swarm of locusts attacking a small agricultural site in South Africa. And that is one of the first signs of the end. You know, I mean, it's honestly like the Bible is officially coming to life. It took them how long since that holy book has been written? But there is so much being put into now. Like, I think that's why I think I'm sorry, I'm trying to think, my mind's not with it. That's why I think God took my mother before the coronavirus got her. Because he did not want her to be taken by pestilence. She was taken by her own body failing her. Which is sad, but it's good to know that it wasn't the virus, because it's pretty severe. I mean, if it was what killed her, God, I'm gonna be angry. Because it is a respiratory infection disease. It's bad. I mean, I have the thing right here, but, you know, this is all information that you guys can read. I have it posted on my Instagram as well. There's a post, so Instagram, TFA1024. Read up on this. I posted front and back, I think. Actually, no, I posted the front. But you can read all of this. It's not a joke, but it's also, I think, personally being overplayed. Because they're not giving us all the details, which is not surprising. But it all ties in. So, and it's unfortunate what's happening. I mean, 2020 has not been a good year at all whatsoever so far. I mean, especially now. I said it was going to be my year. I thought it was, 24, my favorite number. I'm that old now, yay! But it's not yet anyway. The whole year is not gone, but suffice to say, it's not gotten any better with my mom being gone. And it sucks. I'm sorry I'm not saying all the words I want right now. I'm very emotionally overwhelmed and conflicted, and I'm trying to stay level-headed, but it's hard. I mean, I've gotten a lot of love and support from so many friends and family and you guys, my fellow addicts. And I'm so grateful. I've been able to go on Instagram and rant to you guys as long and as much as I want to with no filters. I've gotten very little judgment. I've gotten very little, disregard. You guys have been treating me so well, and I personally feel like I owe you, because I really don't know what I would do without you guys. And I need you now more than ever, and that's the honest to God's truth. Because I need as many people as I possibly can, which is why I said I don't want to isolate myself. So if you see community tab posts, or if you see Instagram posts, or if you want to message me on the Facebook page or Instagram, not both, pick one, please. If you see a video being uploaded, leave a comment. Little things like that help my day so much. Which is why I was kind of surprised that not a lot of people were commenting on the most recent video regarding trees in the Tarn story, because a lot of people were hyped about it. I'm still hyped about it. It's looking great. But I can also understand, I haven't done a lot with it lately. It's still being in the works. It's still being made. A lot has happened behind the scenes that now may or may not prolong that production status. And I really want to try and get that out to you guys, because it's a really well done looking and well written stop motion, and I'm really proud of it so far. But I also need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, and I need to make sure I'm taking care of my dad and my cat Little Man, and I need to just make sure I'm going to be okay before I commit to anything. Which is why I was also telling people I don't want to get a job right now until I feel like I'm able to do that. Because if I were to get a job, and I start thinking about my mom being proud of me at that job, and I start breaking down crying, that's not going to look good. And that's not going to be good either. And I don't want to put myself in that position right away. So that's why I say, expect content to happen when it happens. I can't give any release dates. I can't give any previews or anything super specific. But I will do what I can when I can and when I'm able. Emotionally and mentally and physically. But I want to keep doing this. Hell, I'd love to turn YouTube into a job. Working with Transformers all the time, I mean, I don't care if I'm not even making that much. If I can get enough patrons, $1 a month, with all the subscribers I have, that's $2,180 a month. That's enough to live on. And that would seriously help me out now. Especially with the finances being so tight and constricted with my mother's passing. But there's also another way if you don't want to do this monthly. There is a link on my Instagram, and there's a link in the previous video regarding what's up with the Addict in the description that takes you to paypal.me/MichaelDavis1024. Please, if you are able to, if you have to get your parents' permission, please donate to me and my father. Any donation that we get will not be tampered with until absolutely necessary. I do not plan on using this money for personal use. This will be used for bills. This will be used for groceries. This will be used for medical if needed. The car if needed. It will be used for everyday things. I do not plan on buying that many Transformers anymore. I have a shit ton on the way. but I don't plan on spending my money as frequently as I used to. I'm still going to, because that's my only escape from life, and that's the only thing to help me get through it. But I'm really focused on living here and surviving more so than toys, as some people like to call them. To me, they're just an escape, and that's what they are. They help me mentally, they help me emotionally. God, it's gonna kill me every time I look at Bumblebee now. And they just help. So if you're able to, if you're in a good financial standing position, please consider supporting me on paypal.me/MichaelDavis1024. That's paypal.me/MichaelDavis1024. I would sincerely appreciate it. My dad would be very grateful for it, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the Davis family would be as well. And with talks of projects and such, Evolution Transformation Episode 1 is announced to be Bumblebee. And at the end of this episode, or at the beginning of the episode, or whenever, I'm leaving a special dedicated message and memoir to my mother, Louise A. Davis, because Bumblebee was her favorite character, and I think it would be a nice send-off for her. I also want to make a video regarding my mother, like a poem video or something, you know, something to have some visual and then some music. But I can't share many pictures, we don't have that many. But I want to do something nice for her, despite her passing. And I want to do it because I want to do it. Because she deserves it. Like I said before, I felt like I took her for granted so much. And it's unfortunate, because we're all going to feel like that eventually. We kind of look back at ourselves when we were younger and like, wow, we were little shits, weren't we? And for me, I just feel really bad because I kept fighting her on getting a job and such, and saying, she kept pushing me to live my life, and I wanted to. Believe me, I wanted to live every day as if it were my last. But I'm more grateful that I pushed back, and I took care of her for as long as I did. Not a lot of children can say that to their, you know, or let me rephrase that. Not a lot of children can say they did that for their parents. Because as soon as you're off on your own, you kind of just leave everything behind, including your family, and you just worry about your own little world, and unless you absolutely need your parents, which is not wrong. They're your family. They got to support you. But it felt really good to just do that for them, because I told them when I was older, someday, somehow, I want to be able to repay you guys for everything you've ever done for me. And I had the chance, and I took it. And I'm so proud of myself that I did. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sound like I'm some sort of, you know, sanctimonious, egotistical person. I'm just genuinely proud and happy that I was able to do that for him. Because I love him. I loved her. So I really hope that I can move on for her. Now, suffice to say, I don't want to move on immediately. I don't want to pretend like a month passed and like, oh, everything's fine, my mom's gone, but it's okay. No, not at all. I will take as much time as I need to get over this, or come to terms with this. I don't want to say get over, that just sounds so negative. But I want to be able to just do it on my own terms, on my own time, without people getting on my ass about certain things, and just have that love and support that I so desperately need. Because I really could use that a lot more than someone nagging at me about getting a job, making income, helping out with your parents financially. That's not what a child is for. Child ain't your own personal financial slave or, you know, accountant or anything. Child's to prepare themselves for the world, and then when they're an adult, they make their own decisions. Which is something my family fails to realize. Or at least two members of my family fail to realize. You don't have to help them financially. You can help them emotionally. You can help them physically. You can help them mentally. Nothing, I mean, that just always irked me. But the fact that it's me and my dad now, things are going to be a little different. The plus side, we have not fought at all. So I'm really surprised about that, because I kept talking to my dad months and years before this. It's like, if mom passes away or she dies, we need to change our what the hell did I call it? I forgot the word. I can't remember. It was something that sounded intelligent. But is it routine? I don't remember. We needed to change our act, our routine. And he's been a lot more like mom, more so than he's been like himself, but he's still himself as well. And that's exactly what I wanted to see. He's starting to show change. He's starting to be more gentle and showing emotion, and I have wanted to see this side of him for so long. But I also hate seeing him cry so much, because I've not seen this man cry so long in so many years. It's crazy. And it breaks my heart. You never want to see an old man cry. It's horrible. So, I mean, this whole change is messing with me as well, like, badly. Like, I can't even function properly. I can't eat without fighting with myself. I can't sleep. I don't know what time it is for you guys there, but it's currently almost 4 a.m. in the morning. Never mind, 4:30 in the morning. Jesus. I've been up for 3 days, and I slept for the last 3 days at 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock at night. That's not good. But it's hard. You know, and I got pressure from those other relatives, who I don't want to mention anymore because they just piss me off, about how I need to be here for Dad as well. It's like, they don't put me into consideration at all, and it's wrong, if you ask me. It's like, we're all trying to grieve at this point. Don't go dumping this shit on me. Dad wants to be alone, he can be alone. If I want to sleep, I want to sleep. Everyone copes in their own way. You know, it just sucks. And I hope to God none of you have gone through it yet. And if you do, you're not ready. Believe me. I had a hospice nurse tell me that, you know, when she was watching over my mom the last week, she's like, this is normally the first sign that they're about to meet their demise. And I was like, no. And I started breaking down a little bit, and it's like, I'm not ready for this, you know, I'm too young. She was like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 24. She's like, oh, you're still a baby. I'm like, yeah, I never had to deal with anything like this before. But I know that this whole experience, in the end, is going to help toughen me up a little bit. But that's not to say I'm still going to allow myself to show emotion and be sensitive and be the person that I know I am today. I'm not having anyone change me. I fought with my mom on that for the last 2 years, how she kept trying to micromanage every action that I did. My cussing, which she actually allowed me to do near the end, so that was kind of like a, whoa, why are you letting me? She's like, just don't question it. I'm like, okay. So I was able to talk freely. Freedom of speech in the house. I'm able to do that now, too, which is nice. You know, I told her I'm not gonna stop buying Transformers and all this other stuff. I'm gonna be me. She got annoyed with it, but I knew she respected me for it. Because it takes balls to stand up to your parents like that. And it ain't easy. It's scary. Because you feel like you say the one wrong thing, and you lose all respect that your parents had for you. And luckily enough, for this family, specifically for my mom, my dad, and myself, they are super accepting. They are very understanding. Relatives, on the other hand, tune into one of my Instagram live streams and I'll go more into detail there. But it was just nice to have her let me be myself, because I think she knew it was about to be the end, which is why I think that she said, you know, you're the greatest son I ever had, and I love you too, Michael. It's hard. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know, because I told you in the previous live stream, I'm going to be losing my mother. Lose being the future tense. I lost her. And now more than ever do I need my friends. and my fan base and my family. So if I come to you and you're busy, just let me know you're busy. But if I come to you and you're free, please let me be your shoulder to cry on. Because I have to get used to this. And God knows I'm not ready. With that being said, my fellow addicts, stay tuned for when content comes out. I don't know when it's going to come out. I might take a break. I'll be making a community tab post as well, so stay tuned for that. Say your prayers. Bless upon God that my mother is happier and she's healthier up there, and she's looking down upon me and my dad and making sure we're okay. Like I said before, if you're able to support me financially, please click the link in the description of the What's Up with the Addict from a couple weeks ago and donate. That's paypal.me/MichaelDavis1024. Leave a note. Use the friends and family option. Donate whatever you wish. And like I said, I will not touch that money unless absolutely necessary. And just if you haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more TFA 1024 Transformer videos. For more TFA 1024 videos, sorry. Follow me on Instagram for exclusive updates and more personal live streams like that, because I do them up there all the time, more so than here, because when a live stream goes down here, it stays forever until you delete it. On Instagram, it's like one day, and that's it, which is nice. You know, it's just, even hit me up on Facebook. Look up Michael Davis. I'll be the person with the TFA 1024 logo. Send a message. Send me your condolences, your sympathies, whatever it is you feel like doing. Don't feel obligated, but just keep it in mind. But thank you just for being here. I don't know what time zones you guys are in currently. I don't know if, you know, if you guys are up at night as well. I don't know if you guys have went through this similar thing. And my condolences and sympathies to you if you have. I know it's not easy to lose a strong bonded person like that. I mean, I know now. But, you know, you made it this far. Don't quit now. Same goes for me. That was my own pep talk to me. It's like, don't you do it. Don't you leave this world. So, I'm sorry. I try to find humor in these type of situations. It helps. But I think I'm going to leave you guys go. It's almost been an hour-long live stream. I've said everything I had to say. Please stay tuned for the episode of Evolution Transformation, my Transformers Evolution character stop-motion series. And also, like I said, stay tuned for that video regarding my mother. Because I want to make that. I don't know how. I'll figure out a way. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. Get some sleep after this. For God's sake, it has to be late for you guys. I don't care how old you are. You need sleep. Take care of yourselves. Same goes for me. But I'm not going to be able to sleep. Otherwise, I'm going to sleep all damn day again. But if you want to message me, feel free. And we'll see what happens next. So, please remember, until next time, TF Addicts for life. Until all are one. For now. Good night, everybody.